What is up, everybody? Eric here from Soundcast Studios. Today we're taking a look at DIYRE Recording Equipment's MN-50 Smash Compressor, which is a recreation of the compression circuit found in the Fostex MN-50 mixer. This is a very colored compressor, so if you're looking for something transparent, this isn't the compressor for you. It has a built-in adjustable release knob, with the fastest release being fully clockwise and the slowest release being fully counterclockwise. It also has a jumper to change from high and low input gain options. I didn't really hear a difference when I switched between the input gain options, which is why I decided to leave it as is. So now let's get to the sound samples. I decided to use the module on vocals, bass, and drums using a few different settings. I mostly aim to use settings that I would actually use in a mix. First, let's hear it on vocals.
She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her. She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her. She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her.
On vocals, I think it sounds pretty good. You can even visually see how it evened out the waveform compared to the original track. It's significantly more even, and therefore it sounded louder at the beginning, which you could probably tell, but because the compression just brought up everything to around the same level, so the beginning right here, you can tell it's significantly quieter than this section. But in the compressed version, it's a little closer. I also like that it added a little bit of grit on the vocals, and it wasn't too much where it sounded overly saturated. So I do think it works really well for vocals. I did not like it with the slow release. It works decently, but it's a little too spiky for it to be used in this application. You can even see it. So yeah, quick release on vocals. It sounds pretty good. You could even dial it down to get even less of that overly compressed sound. You can even dial it in parallel. Overall though, I liked it. Now let's hear it on bass. With the slow release, the bass gets really evened out. You can even see it right here compared to the original. Look how just a fat line of bass basically. So the attack time isn't quick enough for these peaks, so you can even see there are peaks that came up because of it. But it definitely evened it out significantly. The quick release, I really liked it. Personally, it doesn't compress as much as I would like. I could have probably driven it even harder, but then I started getting too much distortion. So maybe driving it harder, but in parallel would work really well. And so I liked it for this application. It evened it out. It sounds very pleasing. It doesn't sound distorted or anything. I think it sounds really good on bass. Lastly now, let's hear it on drums. One thing that I found interesting when using this module on drums is that compared from the low to the max setting, to my ears, it didn't sound like super drastically different. It kind of sounded like at its lowest setting, it was already maxed out. And so from the lowest amount of drive to the highest amount of drive, I personally don't think that they're that significantly different compared to other modules that I've had where they are incredibly different. Usually when it's the max drive, it's super distorted, it's super just a lot of that module really. And I didn't really find that to be the case with this module, at least particularly on drums. I really liked how it added a lot of room noise and really brought out a lot of excitement to the track. So at the lowest setting, it has a lot of room noise, a lot of additional excitement, and it works really well in parallel, which you can see when I used it right here. This was the lowest amount of drive, but with a 50% mix, and I feel like it sounded really good right there. You can even adjust the amount of mix you want, but overall, it's very useful in this situation. The slow attack, which is this one, didn't sound bad either. It just beefed up the snare a bit, which could work really well if you're trying to go for less aggressive drums. It just kind of fattened up the low end, and I think it sounded really pleasant even with the slow attack as well. Overall, I like this module. It adds a lot of very pleasant and colorful compression, which is very useful in many situations. The release not being able to be so easily tweaked is a nice feature, and it gives it some extra versatility. I do think that it shines the most on drums and would probably use it mostly for that application. So that is going to be the end of this video. In the comment section below, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you thought I could have done better. And I'll see you all in the next video.